Okay, so welcome back to lecture once again, guys. Now in this lecture, I'll be talking about a multi-agent system. Again, self-routing system for a multiple agent with the help of LangChain framework. Not just that, so basically I have done the implementation of an RAG as well, and here so I'm going to show you even that example. And if you have watched my previous lecture, so this lecture is going to be an extension of a previous lecture. So in my previous lecture I talked about RAG framework with the help of LangChain, tool system plus agent. But here, so we are going to talk about multiple tools, multiple agents, and self-routing agents as well. So that agent will be able to access multiple tools. Depends upon the query that you are going to fire, and eventually it is going to solve your problem. Plus RAG we have attached into this one. So let me share my screen, and first of all, let's talk about little bit of architecture, because that is important, and hope you all will be able to understand it after going through this particular architecture. So here we are going to talk about a multiple agent. So now in this particular project, what I'm going to show you that there will be a agent, right? So let's suppose we have a agent 1, and let's suppose we have a agent 2, and I have already given you the definition of agents, right? That agent is nothing but just like your employee or your virtual workforce, so which is going to do some sort of a task, and when they are going to do some sort of a task, they are going to invoke a tool. Tools are nothing but eventually a functional access, or a functional access that you are going to give to your agent. So here we have a multiple agents, and parallelly so we have multiple tools. Let's suppose multiple tools, let's suppose so we have a tool 1, we have a tool 2, and we have a tool 3. Now this agent will be able to access all of these tools as per the question that you are going to fire. Again, this agent will be able to access all of these tools as per the question that you are going to fire over here. Now, so as an entry point, so it is going to hit my agent. It is going to invoke my agents. Now, so whether it should use agent number 1 or it should use agent number 2, for that there will be a routing that we are going to talk about. So ROUTE. So depends upon the question, it may select this agent number 1 or it may select a agent number 2. Depends upon the question that you are going to ask. And we have configured that in such a way that it is going to decide automatically. You are not supposed to take any kind of a decision, and eventually my agents will be able to call tool number 1, tool number 2, tool number 3. So whatever number of the tool which I am going to create. Plus, not just that, you will be able to create not just agent number 1 or 2, you will be able to create hundreds of agent over here. You will be able to create hundreds of tool over here. And on top of each and everything to access an LLM, because when we are talking about LangChain kind of a framework, so obviously it requires an access of LLMs. So my agent need an access of a LLM so that it will be able to give you a complete formatted outcome. Depends upon the task that you are going to provide, so that human will be able to understand. So here we are going to use, so LLM wise we are going to use Euri LLM. So Euri is providing you an access of 12 models, including a embedding model, chat completion model, and a streaming model. So if we will be using a Euri LLM to give an access to my agent or to entire framework, you can say. So now code wise, let me explain you this particular code. Code wise, it's very easy. It's not difficult to understand. Everything is configurable. So as per your need, you can try to do a configuration of each and everything. And yeah, so let's try to understand. Now, like I said, so I have already discussed about this project in my previous lecture. So you can try to follow a previous lecture to get a basic of this one, and then you can jump into this particular part. So here we are just trying to do an import. Not just that, so we are going to, right, we are going to provide our own document as well. So this is my founder story basically, and I have used the same document in my previous chapter as well. So it will be able to access this particular document whenever it is required. So basically I'm going to show you RAG application. So RAG means retrieval augmented generation. My agent is going to decide whenever you are going to ask any kind of a question with respect to me, that okay, look into this particular document, try to perform a retrieval augmented generation and then give an answer. If you are going to ask some sort of a question which is not a part of this particular document, in that situation, it is going to call a LLM access and it is going to give you an answer. It is going to give you a response with a knowledge that LLM will be having. Okay. So here we are trying to do all of these imports. I have also attached a requirement.txt file. I have already shown you that how to configure your entire environment setup or how you will be able to run this entire requirement.txt by creating a separate environment. I have already shown you that part. So maybe even in this lecture, I'm going to show you the exact same thing. There is only one file which I have attached and in one single file. So you will be able to find out the entire code base. So let's try to talk about it. So here, first of all, I'm going to use a framework wise LangChain framework, because with the help of LangChain framework, I can create a multiple agent. I can create a multiple tool. I can even try to give a memory to a agent, by the way, or maybe attach this entire memory concept to my tools as well. Apart from that, so here we are going to use a Euri API. Now, so to access or to build any such kind of a system, obviously you need a API key of a model. Now, keeping that in a mind, if you will go to Euron platform, so let's suppose I'm going to Euron platform. Now here you will be able to find out a Euri API, right? So just click over here and available model wise, you will be able to see a 12 model. So we are giving you a Quen model access, DeepSeek model access, Gemini series access. We are giving you basically a Llama series access from Meta. We are giving you a Mistral series access, and we are giving you even a GPT access from OpenAI, so that you all will be able to use it. Now here, you will be able to find out a model ID. So whenever you are going to change a model ID, just with one single API key you have to use. So you have to change just a model ID and it will start responding you back. So even over here, so we have attached a code example for each and everything inside a Python, inside a JavaScript, or maybe in a console if you would like to access it. Now here, so API key wise, you can come over here and you can try to create your own API key. So create API, you can try to give a name, maybe a test2 I'm giving over here, and it will end up generating a API key. You can just copy this API key and you can try to use it. You can activate, you can deactivate your previous API key. All of these things are already attached over here. Fine. Now, so you will be able to even track uses of your API key. So here, as you can see, I have already consumed my 28% of the API quota for today. So daily 100K token limit you have for all the model combined. So all this 12 model you will be able to access, and 100K token you all will be able to access on a daily basis, right? On a daily basis. So we need a API key, and I can try to generate my API key from here itself. So that is something which I have done. So I have attached my API key over here, and then I have attached my base URL. Now, so here, for embedding, so there is a function which is already available. So I'm just using a same function which is available on Euron platform. I have used it even before in my previous lecture. So these are just a boilerplate code, you can say. Yeah, just a boilerplate code. Here you can try to change your model ID and you will end up using a different model ID. Very simple once again. And this is again a boilerplate code. You can try to control your temperature. You can try to control a maximum token in terms of an output of your particular hit. Now, so tool wise, right? So tool wise, so I have created a multiple function. So separate function. So one is a calculator tool, so which is going to do some sort of a calculation. One is a summarization tool, so which is going to take some sort of a text as an input, and then it is going to do a summarization. We have attached a Wikipedia tool, so it may decide that, okay, fine, so let's go and search over a Wikipedia. And here, so I have attached a RAG tool, so where I'm trying to use a retrieval QA, and I'm trying to give an access of a Euri LLM to this RAG tool, so that it will be able to perform all this retrieval augmented generation operation based on the document which I am providing. So this founder story I am providing, but it will decide automatically. You don't have to do anything. So these are the four separate function I have created. Yeah, separate function I have created. Now, this is again a wrapper class. I'm just loading a document over here, and everything I have discussed in my step-by-step manner in my previous lecture. So please try to follow a previous lecture. This is again a wrapper class. Now, so till this point, so we are just trying to do the old stuff, the wrapping, right? So everywhere, whenever you are trying to create it, so you will end up using the same thing. Main work, we are going to start from here. So as per the diagram, I can create as many tool as possible as per this particular diagram. So this is something which I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to create a list of the tool, and here, so I'm trying to call my function, right? So calculator tool, so I'm trying to give a name as a calculator as a tool, summarization function which I have created, Wikipedia tool or RAG tool, and everywhere, so I have given a precise description then when to use which tool, which is going to help my agent to decide which tool I'm supposed to use at what point of a time, because it has to make a decision, right? It has to make a decision that, okay, so I have a multiple tool access, that's completely fine. I have a calculator tool access, I have a summarization tool access, I have a Wikipedia tool access, plus I am giving a document access as well. So for example, let's talk about the RAG function that I have created. So here, because this entire agent routing or this tool routing depends upon the description that you have given. If you are not giving a description in a proper way, so LLM will try to answer from its own knowledge base. And if you are trying to ask something which is not a part of its knowledge base, in that case, it is not going to give you the proper result or the proper response. Now here, so if I'll talk about a RAG tool, so I have clearly mentioned that only use this tool for question about the Sudhanshu, Euron or founder story. This tool searches the local founder story.txt document for an answer. For all the other topic, use other tool or your own knowledge. This is the very clear description I have mentioned over there, that whenever someone is going to ask a question about me, only in that situation, only in that particular case, try to use my RAG. Apart from that, so try to use some other tool. So these are the tool access. And what is tool? So I have already explained you, right? It's just a function. So you can try to create hundreds of function and you can connect with any of the system that you have. And then you can try to give a clear description, because depends upon the description, your agent is going to behave. So fine, this tool is completely fine. Even in my previous lecture, so I have already created a multiple tools. Now coming to the next part. So here I have created my own custom class. Now what this custom class is going to do, so this custom class is going to help me out to create any number of a agent. Means I can try to create an object of this class, so a special agent. So I'm going to create an object or variable of this particular class, and then I can try to eventually create an agent which will be having all of these capacities. So I just have to pass a name and I just have to pass the system prompt. Simple as that, right? So name, and every agent will be having its conversation buffer memory. This is what I have attached. Every agent will be having a Euri LLM access, every agent, right? And every agent will be having a tool access as well. So here I'm trying to initialize the agent. So every agent will be having a tool access. Every agent will be having a Euri LLM access. All the models, means whatever model ID that you are going to use, every model or every agent, right? So every agent will be having this reasoning plus acting access. Simple. So agent type is going to be a conversational React description agent, which is nothing but a reasoning plus a acting React. This is what it's called, right? So every like agent will be having this particular access. Now, so this is a agent class. Now with the help of this agent class, by calling this agent class, I will end up creating anything, and then it is having all the tool access, as simple as that. So I'm trying to provide this entire tools to this particular agent that you are going to create with the help of this class. Now, the next class which I have created, right? The next class which I have created is a routing agent. So let's suppose I have created a multiple agents, right? I have created basically a multiple agents. Now, so whenever I'm going to ask a question, so it should use a agent number 1, means worker number 1, or it should use a worker number 2, or maybe like a 10 worker I have created. So which worker it is supposed to use? This is what I'm trying to do with the help of this particular class, routing an agent, and it will be having a Euri LLM access. It will be having all the agent access, whatever agent you are going to create, and based on your system prompt, so it is going to decide that, okay, so I should use this tool or that tool. For example, I have clearly written over there that you are a routing agent. So given a user query, decide which agent should handle a particular situation. For example, so let's suppose if I'm going to create a researcher agent and a teacher agent. So researcher agent, so whenever for a factual research or data question, so just try to use a researcher agent. Now teacher agent, you can try to use it for explanation, learning, or for a teaching purpose. So whenever I'm going to ask a question that explain me this, explain me that, it should go ahead with the teacher agent. And whenever I'm going to ask something based on the data, so it should go ahead and use a researcher agent, as simple as that. So this is where it will decide that which agent it is supposed to route, agent number 1 or maybe agent number 2. Very simple. Once again, the entire world of agentic AI is simple, by the way. It's not at all a difficult one, by the way. So, okay, now here, so I'm just trying to like mention that if agent name not in this agent, so just try to go ahead with the teacher agent, simple, right? And then I have given the chat. Okay, now, so agent wise, I'm just trying to create an object of my specialized agent class. As you can see, yeah, so I'm just trying to create a object of the specialized agent class. I'm trying to give a name to an agent. You can give your own name, that's completely fine. Even over here, you can try to give to your own name, and system prompt is very much important. So as per your system prompt, it is going to give you a response. So here, multiple agent I have created, and all of these agent I'm trying to pass inside my router. Simple, all of these agent, so that it will decide. So I'm just going ahead with this diagram which I have drawn. So router, now router will decide agent number 1, agent number 2. Now agent will decide tool number 1, tool number 2, or tool number 3 I'm supposed to use, and everyone is having an access of the LLMs. Simple, right? Okay, so whenever I will try to start the chat, right? Whenever I'll try to start the chat, so it is, okay, so let me, okay, so here I will try to start the chat. So I will try to give a user input over here, right? And then the entire thing is going to go through a router, because router is calling my agents. My agents is having an access of all the tool, just in this way, just as per the diagram. It is going to move and it is going to give you the final response. Okay, so let's start talking about this. Let's start testing this particular things. So here, just to execute it, I'm going to execute a Python main.py file, and I'll just try to chat with this one, right? And let's see, so whether it is able to give me an answer or not. So here I'm going to ask a question that tell me about Sudhanshu Kumar. Let's see, so whether it is going to answer from a Wikipedia or whether it is going to answer from a RAG. So here, it is trying to decide. So it is having a thoughts over here that do I need to use a tool? So answer is yes, right? It is thinking by itself. So action wise, so it is trying to call a document Q&A. Now, what is there inside this document Q&A? Let me talk about that first. Yeah, so let me talk about that. Now here, right? So here, if you will go and check this document QA, so it is going to come into a picture. Our system will try to invoke this particular one when you are going to ask a question about me, right? Or maybe Euron. So it is going to give an answer from a founder story.txt, as simple as that. So it is going to technically call this function. Yeah, it is trying to call this particular function, as simple as that. So this is what it is trying to do. And as you can see, tell me about Sudhanshu Kumar. So it is trying to give you the entire answer, right? It is going to give you the entire answer from a document which I have uploaded over here. So it is trying to perform the RAG Q&A operation, and then out of that, it is going to give me the answer. Now, so let me talk about, tell me more about him, right? See, I'm not taking a name, right? I'm not taking a name, but here, so do I need to use a tool? No. Could you please specify who are you referring to when you say him? That way I can provide you with most accurate answer. So it is trying to route to my teacher, right? So more about Sudhanshu, if I'm going to ask. So it is trying to call again document Q&A, right? And yeah, it is trying to process the thoughts, and then eventually it is trying to give me the answer back to back, as we can see. And all of these answers are coming from, right? All of these answers are coming from my document. Technically, it is trying to, or it is able to perform the RAG operation. And out of this RAG operation, it is giving me all the answer. Okay, now, so again, I'm going to ask a question that tell me about Elon Musk. So let's see. So which tool it is going to Do I need to use a tool? So it is saying no, and based on the LLM understanding or LLM access itself, it is trying to give me the answer. Now tell me about Sudhanshu, Pandey, Pandey, not Kumar. Yeah, so it's not me, by the way. So let's see. So which tool it is going to invoke? Sudhanshu Pandey. So it looks like it got confused. I don't have information on Sudhanshu Pandey in a current context. Okay, so do one thing. Tell me about Sudhanshu Pandey from Wikipedia. So now let's see. So now it is trying to call my Wikipedia tool. So my agent is going to call, and now it is trying to invoke what? It is trying to invoke a researcher agent, right? So it is trying to invoke basically a researcher agent. Now, so here I'm going to ask a question that give me an explanation. Give me an explanation for I in a range of basically 60. Let's see. So which agent it is going to call? So most probably a teacher agent it should call, by the way. So as you can see, it is automatically routing to a teacher agent. So sometime it is routing to a researcher agent, sometime it is routing to a teacher agent, and everything is happening automatically, right? Everything is happening automatically. So this is how this entire multi-agent system with a self-routing, and every agent have a access of a multiple tools. So system itself can decide which one to use when. We can try to make it better and better, obviously. There is a lot of like a scope you will be able to find it over here, but I believe this is one of the best example you can see with respect to a RAG, with respect to a multiple agents, with respect to a multiple tools, integration of LLMs, by the way, doing an embedding, because we are trying to use our document, we are trying to use our Facebook AI similarity search for doing embeddings, storing data into a vector space. So all of this example you will be able to find out all together, and most of the code which I have shared with you. So let me call exit over here. So most of the things or code that we have written over here, it's a boilerplate code, right? For example, this Euri embedding is not going to change. Euri chat is not going to change. Tools, yes, obviously it is going to change all the time. Now, so like here embeddings are not going to change. Simple, right? Embeddings are not going to change. So here you are trying to retrieve a document. So obviously you can try to change a document. You can try to create a different kind of a chunks. Here I'm trying to use a Facebook AI similarity search. You can try to use maybe some other vector databases, maybe a ChromaDB, maybe a Quadrant, maybe a Pinecone, whatever you want. And this part is not going to change, which is helping me out in terms of accessing the Euri LLM. This is just a custom wrapper for a LangChain that we have created. Now, rest of the things is configurable, right? You can try to create as many tools as possible. You can try to, create as many agents. So again, this is not going to change. If you would like to add more capabilities to an agent, you can just add it here itself, right? You can just add it here itself. You don't have to like worry much about it at all, right? You don't have to worry much about it. Now, so router, so again, this is not going to change. Yeah. So if you would like to like give some sort of a different kind of a system prompt, you can try to go ahead with this one once again, right? Once again. So in this way, you can try to create a multiple agent. You can try to create a multiple tools. You can try to give an access, and then you can just call a router, bingo, and work done, right? So hope all of you are able to understand this entire example, guys, and hope all of you are going to implement it, trial it, and test it. And don't forget to change your own Euri API key, because that key will be deactivated after this class. So try to use your own Euri API key. It's already available, and it's the most affordable ecosystem you will be able to find out in this entire world. With that, thank you so much, everyone. Take care and see you again in my next lecture.